All right, let's move on to this now. The Gauteng government says it has made it easy for the Spaza shop owners to register their stores and ensure that they comply with the environmental health standards. This is despite some raising concerns about the 21-day deadline that was announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa last week Friday following rising cases of suspected food poisoning. The Finance and Economic Development MEC in Gauteng is Lebogang Maile, and he joins us via the virtual platform this evening. MEC, good evening to you, and thank you for your time. We'll touch on some of what you said earlier in your media conference today. Can I just start with your assessment of what is going on in areas such as Soweto? We are hearing reports today that members of Operation Dudula have been blocking foreign nationals from registering their Spaza shops. What is the official line from government as to whether or not foreign nationals are allowed to run Spaza shops in South Africa?
Good evening, Toli, and thanks for having me. We raised and clarified this issue at the press conference and indicated that the Department of Home Affairs will take a lead on this matter because there are laws which says that foreign nationals will be required to provide valid documentation from the Department of Home Affairs, giving them authorization to operate a business in South Africa. And in terms of the Immigration Act, I'm told that in Section 15, it's also clear there that if you are a foreign national, what is required. For instance, you, as per the South African law, a foreign national must invest a prescribed amount of about 5 million, I think, into an existing business. And there's a lot of all other requirements, which I would urge that you get the Home Affairs to clarify that issue. That's the first. The second point is that we don't condone violence, and if there are grievances that the communities have, they have a right to express them, but in a peaceful manner. And I've been contacted by the leader of Dudula before this interview, and I said to her I will get back to her. And I think, and it's good that they are reaching out and we'll have a discussion to understand what are the issues. We will be listening to everyone. On the,
That's a very interesting point there, MEC, that the last element that you just mentioned, that you were contacted by the leader of Operation Dudula. If you were to, let's pretend you were talking to her right now, addressing the very incidents that are happening on the ground, what should the line of march be?
I think the important thing is to understand what are the issues. And what transpired and what are the suggestions on the table. And that's why I'm interested in having a discussion with her. We would have a preliminary telephonic, and then I'm sure we'll arrange a proper sit down because it's important that all the stakeholders who have an interest in the economy of our country and in the well-being of our communities are engaged.
Let's talk about some of what came out from your media briefing today. And what really caught my eye there, MEC, was the element you said had to do with the structures from which Spaza shops are run. And you said that these are not designed, I'm using simple language here, they're not designed for such operations. It would seem, if that is the matter, a number of these Spaza shops ought to be closed. And what kind of design or structure do they have to be in, firstly, for them to qualify to be used as Spaza shops?
Well, we said most of these structures do not meet building control. zoning rights and environmental health standards. So it doesn't necessarily mean that those issues can be ratified. And that's why our approach is developmental. And we have said that despite the fact that people can go to specific centers to register, we'll also go to them. So the municipalities are cooperating, and I must commend all our 11 municipalities. We had a meeting at 7:30 in the morning today just to consolidate what we're going to present to the public and the plans of every municipality, and all of them are ready and yet to making sure that this task is successful.
Yeah. Already, MEC, there are complaints as the process of registering Spaza shops is well underway. There are suggestions, I'm going to call it that, because officially I haven't heard a journalist say that this is what they have witnessed themselves. But there are suggestions being made that some officials in some of the municipalities are selling illegal or are selling Spaza shop applications to illegal foreigners for amounts even as small as 3,000 Rand. In general, how should the element of corruption be dealt with, particularly within this 21-day period, because a lot of people are going to be defrauded or have their monies taken away with the promise that you are going to get the certificate that allows you to run a Spaza shop?
One of the things we agreed with municipalities is that all information that is required or needed must be easily accessible on their social media platforms, on their websites, including who is responsible and where can people register, where people are supposed to pay, the amounts must be displayed. Because one of the things that makes it easy for criminals to abuse unsuspecting, vulnerable communities is lack of information. So I'm not saying if they have information, they will not fall prey. But I think it's one of the important things we must do to ensure that they get that information easily. And then we should also urge the public to bring to our attention whenever, even the journalists who are getting this information, whenever there's these serious allegations, please bring them to our attention, and we will act firmly, working with the police, and we'll make sure that there are steps taken against any official who's found to be on the wrong side of the law.
Yeah. Very briefly, MEC, talking about people bringing information to the authorities, there already has been a complaint that some offices were approached and there simply was no one there to assist the public. And people are panicky. They are worried that the 21-day period is going to close out very soon. How can it be that offices are not occupied at a desperate time like this?
Yeah, Toli, until today at 2, in fact, until today at around 10, a lot of people were not clear on where to go. And that's why at 2 o'clock, we clarified that matter. And when you look at our press statement, and even if you go to my social media account now, all of them, we have publicized the government departments, everybody. We've publicized that information, where to go. And it might be that before this information was consolidated, just this morning, remember the president announced on Friday.
Yes.
Yes. And before the president made an announcement, I think with municipalities, people will just go to any municipal office. So here we have a dedicated capacity which we have asked the municipalities to put together to ensure that people are able to get help.
All right. On a parting shot, MEC, this is an industry that is understood to be valued at around 2 billion rand. And 200, I'm sorry. 200.
No, not this. In fact, I'm wrong. The township economy is combined. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that clarity. There is this statement, particularly from a party like Action SA, which is partnered with the ANC in Gauteng. They are saying that it's a travesty that the township economy, including informal businesses such as Spaza shops, has fallen into the hands of foreign nationals. And how was this allowed in the first place? Do you think you could be able to address that?
I agree with them. It's a travesty, and there are a lot of dimensions here. So one of them is that our borders are porous, and you have a lot of people who are here illegally. But the second issue is you have a situation where locals hire out their shops to undocumented foreign nationals. And I think there are a lot of dimensions, and I agree with them. They're right. It's a travesty, and it has to be characterized as such, and it has to be tackled, and that's what we are working on. And we're not starting now. We've started a long time ago. Some other day, you can host us, and we can go into details on the work we are doing on township economy. And it's not an easy task. It's very difficult. And the only way to succeed is to accept the truth and then tackle the truth head on and make sure that we are able to resolve the challenges that we face.
MEC, I'm going to take you up on that offer for a roundtable discussion, and hopefully it'll be yourself and other important stakeholders here. But for the time being, I want to thank you very much for your time. Lebogang Maile, the Gauteng Finance and Economic Development MEC.